Well, welcome, Elina Siirala. Sorry, from she's from Leaves Eyes, and also she's a lead singer from Angel Nation. We're going to be talking a lot about Angel Nation's new album, but also we'll talk about Leaves Eyes because there's a lot going on there, and whatever other projects. There's actually a couple other projects I want to talk to her about that she worked on. But again, thank you very much for taking the time to discuss your latest album. The new Angel Nation album is named after the star Antares, the brightest object in the constellation of Scorpius. And if you haven't heard it yet, please go out and get it. It is fantastic. She does a fantastic job singing, but the band is excellent and the music is very good. So I'm going to shut up for a minute and let her say hi. And there she is.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me. My pleasure.
No, you're very welcome. Well, I really enjoyed the new album. And how has Antares been received by the general public?
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that you liked it. Yeah, it was very good for us because the combination that we had actually crowdfunding, so we were able to make the album. So it was kind of a different kind of process for us, and people were kind of more involved already from the beginning. And then when it came out, of course, it was a bit of a surprise maybe for some people that the sound is a little bit different. It's a bit heavier, a little bit less keyboards, a bit more heavy guitars and stuff. But I think it's been very well received, and at least now that we played the songs live, we can also see that they are very good, in front of a live audience. So yeah, we're
They
very
connect.
happy.
They connected well live too. That's
Mhm.
I was going to ask. Luckily, you've already been out on the stage with these songs, and people really got into them. They sing the lyrics. They uh, knew the songs.
Yes, yeah, I had at every gig there was at least one person I saw was singing almost all the songs, also the previous albums. So it's always so heartwarming to see people singing along and enjoying. So yeah, it's a great feeling.
Definitely, yeah. Somebody that's been with your band and enjoyed it for a while. That's good to see. Well, the album opens with Seraph Regal orchestration. I love that orchestration at the beginning. It's a great story, and I think it's a carryover from your last album. Do you want to just talk about the story itself, or the concept? I hate to use the word concept because artists don't like to say I wrote a concept album, but uh, go ahead. It sort of follows a
Yeah,
go ahead. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I assume you're talking about Seraph now specifically. But the whole album is
Yeah.
it's not really continuous from Ian, but of course, the same angel robot character is on the album cover as well, and the very original image and inspiration that I had was definitely this army of angels, which is this seraphim, and they are these creatures with three pairs of wings. And I was reading about it, and it's just somehow represented the band for me. It was like the us marching through and like getting this album finally done. And then of course different things came along and intertwined with everything, but yeah, that was the kind of little like a line that goes through the whole album there.
All right. We Are Fire is a fantastic anthem, like a fight song, we call it over here. See the nation rise, we are fire. Do you want to talk a little bit about that? That one I bet really plays well live.
Yes, I mean that's as you say, it's very much about that that mentality of we are fire, let's do this, let's get this album done. And it was a fun track. It kind of combines this dark dark tone with kind of like very fun atmosphere as well, with all that little keyboard and also the guitar doing the little lick in the start and stuff that goes through the whole song. And yeah, it was really fun to play that live. Yeah.
Did people really? Did you get the feeling of, like people were ready to march out of the theater? No, I'm kidding. But were they really hyped up for that one? I bet there was
Yeah,
a lot.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it was a second song in our set, so we did a little chanting together first, "We are fire," and then started, and then people were singing along, and yeah. I mean, what else can you do with a track like that? It's just fun overall.
Definitely. Uh, there's a beautiful dreamscape of keyboards and slow electric guitar that opens End of Innocence. It's just really heartwarming. And then you sing some of the best lyrics on the album. Deep within darkness grows, alone in God's hidden place, lost in the unknown, fear written on my face. Is this the end of innocence? Tell us a little bit about it, because it really does sound like a Tanya Turman song. I mean, you really did a great job.
Thank you. Yes, I actually, on every album, I have one song that has that extra meaning for me, and on Antares, this is the one. So, "End of Innocence" is very personal song for me, and
In
it
what
is
way?
basically, sorry.
In what way?
Yeah, it's basically talks about we have all this disease and everything in the world, but I still think that the biggest disease is the selfishness and cruelty of people. And we all probably experience that in some way in our lives. And sometimes in your life, you have this big explosion happening, something so terrible happens that it feels like it shatters everything and nothing is quite the same, and it feels a bit like End of Innocence. So you know like for me, that was the end of Innocence, like kind of you don't see these things quite the same way after that. So that's what it is about.
All right. And when I was doing the review, when I was writing the review, I was actually listening to Life is War. And just as Putin was invading Ukraine, and the song really hit me on that particular night. I think this was back, at the start of the Ukrainian war. And your voice was rising to celestial heights, and you continue repeating, "You're the soldier," and just excellent. I mean, it really captured that whole effect of the Ukrainians doing their best to keep their country alive and free. Do you have any thoughts on that, or?
Yeah, I mean, I have to say that unfortunately that song fits to today's situation very well. It was written already back in 2015, 16. It was after the terrorist attack in Paris, Bataclan. So that was actually the inspiration for me, that I felt like, wow, there really are these people who live their life as if it was a war. They have some personal battle or whatever they're fighting for, whatever it is, religion or whatever it is, but who knew that it would actually be so fitting to today's situation. And that's of course unfortunate, but yeah, that's how life goes, unfortunately, sometimes.
Yeah. "Crucify Me" is another deep lyrical song, powerful drums, guitar, and there's a lot of despair in it as well. Do you want to talk about that one a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the ones that has that angel army of angels, actually probably the most like the strongest way. It's literally marching through, and it talks about the fact that if you want something, it's yours to take. You have to grab it. You go for it. And there's always someone who's not going to like what you do. You're always going to feel like someone wants to crucify you. So that's kind of the essence behind the lyrics. But you know, it's kind of the pounding rhythm of the song that you just keep marching, and it's of course through this positivity that's behind it. But there's always this bittersweet balance when you write music and do creative things.
Definitely. Face to face with the Merciless. Just that title is eerie enough and scary enough. You want to talk a little bit about that one?
Well, I mean,
What it's like to
it
be
is a similar, yeah, similar theme because it's also the feeling of when you get into the writing music and it's you know thrilling and it makes you feel alive and it's amazing, but also at the same time it feels a bit like being face to face with the merciless, like you know you throw your everything to people and then you don't know what you're getting back, and you know it's like being thrown out of the nest, like out in the cold. And so it's something that I love, but it always is something that you are a little bit also kind of scared of, is you never know how things are going to go. And but I think that's the thrill of it also. It's just how it is.
Yep. And I love metal. I love the way you're surrounded with powerful music, but songs like Where's the Time are really wonderful, where you can really open up and express your vocals without too much. It's definitely in the background. But do you like those, quiet moments in songs where you can really let your vocals reign?
Yes, I mean it's obviously I'm from classical background, so I'm used to actually playing only with a piano most of the time. So no microphone, nothing, only the acoustic of my voice and instrument. So that's probably what I still prefer the most. And I don't mean sound wise, but just like the feeling of hearing my voice. So in that sense, I do like to have those quiet bits there as well. And I think it's essential as well. You can't have like just pounding, pounding all the time, all the way through. But in this album, we did make the conscious decision to have it a bit more, you know, pumping, like going, going, going. So I think maybe we had a bit more of those low moments in the other albums. But I think it's nice to do things, try new things, and there are still, like you said, there are still those moments. And the answer is yes. I like having the power behind me, but I also like having more space to express with my voice, because you know when you have guitars and drums and everything coming with the force, it always is a bit more difficult to hear the nuances of the voice and everything.
All right. The next song, well, I'm going to jump ahead to Way Back Home. Almost sounds like something from the Lord of the Rings soundtrack. It's just excellent, cinematic, and you sing "A Thousand Angels Lead Their Way Back Home." It almost sounds like the elves returning to Valinor. Just a fantastic song. Do you want to? Was there any inspiration from that, or you got to be a Lord of the Rings fan, right? Or have some interest?
Yeah, I mean that's one way, and the other one is the world of Disney, like this
Oh,
kind of you know some Disney ballads that came in my mind, which I love. And obviously Jonah is doing excellent job making. He made all the orchestration and everything behind it, so it's very much thanks to him as well how he created it. But it really came out as I imagined. And the story behind the song is actually about my grandmother who was living in Karjala and had to leave when she was a child. And it's about her story, you know, finding kind of your way back home, because, you know, she's 90 now and she still remembers all those moments having to leave her home and never going back really, actually it's only visiting. It's still not part of Finland anymore, so yeah, it's kind of quite a deep meaning also
so
in it.
which part of history was it? The German occupation or Russian? Because I know
No,
there's.
it was the Russian. Yeah, it was the Russian. Yeah, so that is still part of Russia now.
Yep. People don't realize you guys have been very strong in holding back the Russians for years and years. And of course, we're proud of that.
Yeah, yeah,
Everyone
yeah.
talks
You have to thank them.
everyone talks about World War II, but there's also that. And yeah, yeah. Someday we'll learn to everyone can coexist and share, but we're
Yes.
still not there yet, unfortunately. As a
No, no.
species, or yeah. Where the Future Lies is another beautiful song, wonderful song. A lot of keyboards. I definitely love the keyboards. I love metal as well, but whenever like you talked about piano, uh, the keyboards just somehow always entrance me. But do you want to talk about that one?
Yeah, that's definitely one of those tracks that has the a little bit more orchestration and keys going on there. It's quite a full track. It's very positive track. It's again about taking a moment to believe really what you're doing and looking into the future, where the future lies, taking the chance on things and jumping into the unknown so great things can happen, because sometimes you really need to get out of your comfort zone to then find something else. And yeah, it's just like an anthem kind of song. I also really like it.
Did you want to talk about some of the other people that you brought in as guests, or the artwork, or anything else about the album that people aren't, used to hearing about, or might be news to? Uh,
Yeah, I mean, there probably we've been talking about these things in other interviews as well. I'm not sure if there's anything we didn't cover, but obviously the excellent artwork was done by Yober Melo, and he's a Brazilian artist, and he did some work for our T-shirt before, and we thought we really liked it, and then we gave him kind of guidelines of what to follow on what he then what the result is. We're really happy about that. We wanted something a bit more warm and fiery for this album, compared to the greenish, bluish that we had before. So, and then still keeping that robot angel there as a little, um, keeping something from the previous album, which is I think really nice as well. Yeah.
all right, we'll come back, but I gotta ask you uh, about your great duet with Katerina Nix on Chaos Magic's new album Emerge, the Garden of Winter. Um, Hopefully, you guys are. I asked her and didn't. I don't think I got an answer, but I'll ask you: are you guys gonna put together a video for that? Because I'm telling you, that would just be. It's a fantastic song. But do you want to talk about working with her, doing that? Maybe other artists you're going to be working with, and definitely answer that question. Are you guys going to do a video? I really hope so.
Yeah, I mean, that was really nice, obviously, working. I also liked the song. I heard it. I was like, yeah, I would be happy to be part of it. And of course, didn't actually meet her because we are far apart. But we did all the recording. I did my parts, and I think it turned out really well. And the answer is yes. There should be a video coming. So, but unfortunately, I don't know when. So I have to also ask. But there was some material filmed, and hopefully it will be out soon.
So you filmed separately, or you said you didn't meet?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I
And
mean, yeah, it wasn't really possible.
yours was in Finland, or where did you film your section?
No, just here. I live in Germany, so I
Oh,
was filming here. Yeah.
okay. And then she's down in Chile, so she's the. I can
Yeah.
see the two of them blending well together, the mountains and that. She's got a few on her albums. She's got a few mountain videos that really look really good. I can't wait. I hope it's coming soon. Um, all right, so you already have started the tour, and do you want to talk a little bit more about some of the shows? I think it was just England, right? This first part.
Yeah, yeah, we were playing 4 shows in Finland, in Finland, in England, and yeah, it's just amazing to be back on stage for me as well after quite a long time, and especially with Angel Nation, it's been very long time. So yeah, having a COVID a week before
Yeah.
added the stress a little bit, but still alive, and it was great. Yeah, I don't even know what to say because I'm still kind of on a high. Came back home a few days ago, and it was just incredible to be singing the new songs, and just having that energy from live audience again, and yeah, meeting everyone, and it was just great.
What part of Germany are you in? I have relatives in Ulm, which is near.
I am in Bayern. I'm in Regensburg,
Oh, okay.
so that's, yeah,
That
a little bit like closer to the Czech border, actually.
yeah, yeah. Um, and are there more plans to tour this year? I mean, we're running and we got the holidays coming up and things like that. But any other plans to tour this year? Or are you gonna do something big next year?
Well, I mean, we were gonna have that big tour with Leaves Eyes, so that was the plan. But now, unfortunately, it's not happening. So for the moment, we are then gonna concentrate on the new album. So we're gonna do some studio work, and then we just have a new booking agency. So hopefully next year there will be then much more happening. And of course, this album also, I'm really excited to work on it. So yeah, there's a lot of things coming for sure.
So you're talking about Leaves Eyes,
Yes, yes, yes. Leaves Eyes now, yeah.
and are you any other tours for next year with Angel Nation, or you're working on the next album, or
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm always working on songs and stuff like that, but we have some dates coming. I will hopefully be able to announce them soon, but yes, there will be something with Angel Nation as well. And then we'll hopefully see that the, summer season as well, hopefully will be great again for us, and we'll see how it goes. It's unfortunately now more difficult than ever because of the financial crisis and then Corona and Brexit on top of it, everything. And it's like, oh, it couldn't really get any more difficult for touring. But yeah, we will definitely still be doing it.
and to add to that, any chance of coming over here to the States? Because I know that's a huge mountain for just about every band to climb.
Yeah, it is, but there has been plans for that already a couple of years, and I mean, I really hope it will happen now. There are some plans, and yeah, it would be great to come back. It's been too long.
National tour all over the country, or just certain spots?
Well, I mean, usually when we come, then we go everywhere because it's worth doing that when you come. It's always these very, very long distances, and then, but it makes sense when you come all the way there to do that. Yes.
A lot of hotel rooms, which I'm sure you're not excited about.
No hotel rooms, only tour buses.
And tour buses, okay.
Yeah, only bunks.
Bunks, okay. Do you have that great duet with Katerina was fantastic? Do you have any ideas of collaborating with others, or is there anything you're working on? Probably everything's going to be next year, but any duets like that?
Well, I mean, there was this track that I did with Oren Ogan. I don't know if you saw
Yeah,
that one, but it was actually not a duet, but it was like they did a whole album of other versions of their songs. So, but that was also very fun. It was a bit different for me, so I was able to use my voice a bit differently again, and it was a really fun project. And then there is another guest appearance that I have done and will be doing more for it. But again, I can't really say more about it before it's announced. But there is something coming. And then I'm always, of course, happy to, be involved and do other kind of projects and things. But let's see what comes next year.
Definitely. Well, this year turned out to be a fantastic year, and I think next year, hopefully, the cross continental will open up more than it did this year. I thought that was going to happen this year, and it definitely did with our inflation and all of our problems, and then the Ukraine war just added to all that. But hopefully next year will be the gate that opens and everybody can go all over again, like it used to be.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Let's see. Well, is there anything else that you wanted to talk about that I haven't mentioned? Or
I think you covered everything pretty well. It's just that I really want to thank everyone for being part of the Angel Nation album, and then of course everyone keeping their support for both bands and for me personally as well. I always enjoy interacting with people online as well, and I really hope we see everyone in person very soon. And thank you so much for this interview. This is also something I really enjoy. So I always appreciate people wanting to talk about my music and everything. So thank you very much.
no, you're welcome. Thank you very much for making time. Thanks again for taking time with us here at Progressive Rock Central, and definitely, Lena. Thank you again. We're fans. You can count on me. I'll be back for more albums, and thanks again. Really. All right,
My pleasure. Thank you.
all right. I'm gonna just stop the